Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar, IAMU VR Training Video Database. My name is Yusuke Mori, Deputy Executive Director of IAMU. Today, we are happy to share the outcome, the Organizational Development Project Fiscal Year 2021, titled VR Training Video Database by Professor Tamara Martin from the State University of New York Maritime College. This project was funded as the Organizational Development Project Fiscal Year 2021 and completed by the end of March this year. She has a strong willingness to share the outcome of the project with the member university. So we are happy to assist in sharing the outcome of the project. Before introducing the presenter, I'd like to invite the chair of IAMU, Mr. Glenn Blackwood, to open the webinar. Glenn, for the use.
Thank you, Yusuke. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. There's no good time to have a global meeting, so some of you are up early, some of you are up late. So I do appreciate your joining. As Yusuke said, I've been chair of IAMU since the start of the pandemic. And I hope I'm not known as the pandemic chair, but that's approaching 3 years now. And during that time, IAMU has kept the ship moving forward. The Secretariat has done a great job. We've kept the programs going. Unfortunately, we missed one AGA, but that means now that our AGA number aligns with the year number. So in retrospect, that wasn't so bad. So I would like to say that this report is the outcome of the Organizational Development Project in fiscal year 2021. And the virtual reality training video database has the potential to become an educational tool for all of our member universities. And these organizational development programs are essentially that to take the capacity and strength of one university and one member and make it available to all. And recently myself and the executive director, Takeshi Nakazawa, traveled to 5 members in the Eastern United States. And what you'll see is that they're all similar, they're all maritime universities, but they're also different. And the difference comes in the strengths that each university has. So one of these strengths is found at SUNY Maritime College, and she's going to be presenting today. So I'd like to say thank you for joining. And as I said earlier, I think we've made it through a very difficult time for a global organization. I'd like to thank the Secretariat and all of our members for perseverance and making sure that IAMU stays as strong as ever in a difficult time. So thank you, and back to you, Suki.
Thank you, Glenn, for your opening remarks. Now it's time to over the presenter, Professor Tamara Martin. She's an associate professor at the SUNY Maritime College. She has a Chief Mate Unlimited license and is currently pursuing their PhD in curriculum and instructions. And she has exactly the same background of mine. So as a passionate believer in all forms of experiential learning, she has been exploring the use of a virtual reality and 360-degree video as a learning platform for the past few years. So now the floor is yours. Tamara, please share your presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yusuke. Okay, I first want to say thank you to everybody for joining for this webinar. One of the major aspects of this project development, or this development project, was it needs to be shared with everybody. If we create something and then we don't share it, then nobody can use it. So I really hope that everybody is able to use this platform and is able to get a lot of good beneficial information out of this webinar. Again, I'm going to be discussing the development project, the IAMU VR Training Video Database, which I renamed the IAMU VR Database so that it can access a broader range of materials in this database. So the first thing I want to discuss is what the training video database is supposed to share, and that's going to be immersive technologies. Immersive technologies are experiential learning technologies that can help support that experiential learning cycle. And within MET, experiential learning is one of the foundational pedagogical approaches that we use across our entire programs. So immersive technologies create the opportunity for more experiential learning or creating new experiential learning opportunities, which we didn't have before. Some of these are very familiar to many of us, including simulation. Simulation has become an essential aspect of all of our programs to help enhance those learning outcomes as we go throughout our programs, eventually leading towards real-world platforms. Other immersive technologies that we have today are virtual worlds. That's a living world within a computer platform. We also have VR, which I use to describe that VR headset that helps engage all of your senses. We also have augmented reality, which overlays your real world information over the technological information. And then we have mixed reality, which combines those two. Additionally, we have 360-degree videos, which records everything around you, including above you and below you, which helps capture a really immersive experience within that. As I had mentioned, simulation has become an essential aspect of our programs. And so all of these other immersive technologies create a wide array of new opportunities, just like simulation. Immersive technologies in COVID. During the pandemic, we were forced to try and adjust a lot of our programs. And since we are so heavily experiential learning focused, that became a very difficult task for many of us. One of the beneficial things about immersive technologies is it can easily be shared across the internet using a web link or inserting it directly into an online learning platform. One example of this was using 360-degree videos with VR or that headset to create a virtual field trip. And this was seen around a lot of different learning experiences, all the way from early learning up into higher education. As we were adapting to these new experiential learning platforms to adapt through the pandemic, we also found that we can help enhance our current pedagogical approaches so that as we move forward in the future, starting to be able to use those real world and simulated platforms, we can also engage these other technologies that we found were very beneficial. This leads to VR training experiences. This is what I use to talk about 360-degree videos, which are viewed on a VR headset that also has interactive material. One of the drawbacks of 360-degree videos is it's a passive experience. But once you embed that that interactive material, now it becomes much more engaging and starts to become more like a simulation, but doesn't have all those complex physics which are required to be programmed into that simulation. It's a wonderful platform because it's affordable to create and to use. If you use a 360-degree video or a VR training experience, it can be used freely over the internet. If you're trying to create your own experience, it can be created through a 360-degree video and embed your material using a program and then upload onto the internet as well. So it's easy to create and share and then use as well at a very relatively effective cost. Because it's easy to make your own materials, this means that me as a professor can actually create my own materials. So if there's a certain learning outcome or exercise that I want to create, I can do that without having to hire a simulation company to do that for me, which is very cost prohibitive. It helps engage that experiential learning cycle. What I found is it doesn't replace simulation. Simulation is wonderful for that higher level experiential learning. But with these VR training experiences, we can get into that experiential learning cycle a little bit faster before they go into that simulation, so they can really engage those learning outcomes within the simulation. It can also be used on a variety of devices, which again adds to that flexibility. It can be used on smartphones, tablets, laptop computers, and again, those VR headsets, which are extremely immersive. And then you can also embed that information, which makes it interactive. And that kind of makes it that next step above those 360-degree videos. So there's been a lot of research on immersive technologies and interactive materials such as 360-degree videos and those VR training experiences. And the big findings with those is overall positive. It has a high level of engagement. It's beneficial for introducing into that experiential learning cycle. And it's best to be incorporated into a structured lesson. So it can't be something you just give. It has to be a part of that experiential learning cycle where you have the discussion, the experience, the reflection, and then you learn from those, engaging the next cycle, usually in a simulator or in a real world platform. But the biggest comment I got over and over and over again, and all the research I found, both from other researchers and also in my own research, was the resounding, we need more. Which led to the IAMU VR database. I found in my research, I would create my own VR training experience or 360-degree video, and everybody was really excited about it. And then it just kind of ended, and that project was over. And one of the issues was it didn't have that staying power. And as I looked across a lot of other research, it was running into the same thing. Everybody would have this one thing that they had created, this one VR training experience. And then there was a big now what? And one of the big reasons for that was there wasn't enough materials to make it a structured aspect of our entire programs the way that simulation has. When we have a simulator, we're able to use it at multiple levels throughout the program. But with these VR training experiences, we had one and then we were done. And so the idea was, if we could all come together as IAMU member universities and contribute those individual learning experiences that we had created, then we can combine that into a database that's living, growing, and can become much greater. And then we can use it throughout our curriculums. And instead of it being just a one experience that doesn't really impact very much, it's now a curriculum-wide impacting aspect of our programs. Again, this requires a combined effort of all of us coming together and creating that. So this was the project timeline. It was broken up into several phases. The first phase was actually filming the equipment, which required a 360-degree video and going out on board the ships. The ship that I used for this was the training vessel at the New York, State of New York Maritime College. And so we used the training ship to film all of those videos. After that, I edited the videos, embedded the content, and actually created that learning experience. From there, I developed a database, which I used a web-based database that set up like a forum so that I could include all of that information and allow other universities to contribute their own information as well. From there, we began the user testing. I worked both at SUNY and at CIMAC. CIMAC contributed as well with the user experience to make sure that using this platform was seamless and beneficial. Then I reported on the database by pulling all of the learning outcomes together and writing the final report, and then submitted that final report. So the IAMU VR database is an education forum. And the reason I used a forum was because, again, it's supposed to be all of the universities coming together to develop this platform and contribute all these different resources in a collaborative manner. So it does use that forum. So the only way that this works is if people interact with that forum, engage with that forum, and contribute their information. In addition to contributing information, including your own materials that you might create, I also want to have a space for where we can discuss research, ideas, how we're implementing it in the classroom. So as these immersive technologies start to become embedded into our curriculums, it also engages more pedagogical conversations about how we can use this information. So the VR training experience, we had to create several VR training experiences as the foundation for this database so that everybody can start using this information right away. And as people slowly contribute their own materials, then it expands and grows. The VR training experiences that were created included a discussion on use of cargo booms, which includes a discussion on how to communicate when using booms and equipment and things along those lines, along with safety procedures, your PPE and all of those type of things. I also did one on helicopter evacuation, evacuating a injured personnel member onto a helicopter, and then finally line handling. Again, all of those were focusing in on both the operation and the safety aspect of that operation. For the user experience, again, CIMAC was one of the major partners on this project. And so Svendborg International Maritime Academy and Sandra Malik, who is representing CIMAC, contributed substantially to this project. As I was developing the database and developing the videos, she gave me a lot of feedback both on the content as well as the usability. And this was absolutely essential because if it's supposed to be used around the world, everybody needs to be able to access these materials easily, seamlessly, so that they can be used effectively. I also sent all the materials out to several of my colleagues at SUNY Maritime, and then the students at SUNY Maritime as well. And that was mainly checking for content and quality and ease of use as well. And what we found was it was used on a wide variety, including smartphones and laptops, but laptops tended to be the most used platform by the students and professors at SUNY Maritime. All the participants were extremely excited and again said we need to start using this type of materials significantly more. So the big question is, how do you use these materials in your own classroom? All of these materials are web-based, so you should be able to insert them directly into any kind of online learning platform or email them to your students so they can access it quickly. Again, try to use this as an experiential learning process, which is what most research has been focusing on. This can be easily done as a homework assignment, and then you can come into the classroom and discuss it. Or what I've done is I've actually sent the link in class. Everybody accesses it on their smartphone, and they can use that material during class as we discuss what's going on. You can also use your VR headsets if you have any, but the smartphones and laptops works really well in the classroom. You can use it as that blended learning platform where you embed it into your online learning platform, and then they can access that materials as a part of a link quickly and easily. Again, the web-based aspect is probably one of the most beneficial aspects of this project because anybody can use it so long as they have a browser and use it within that browser, such as Chrome or Firefox. Also, this project is supposed to be collaborative. It will only work if people contribute their own ideas and contributions. So what was a major part of the final report was a detailed discussion on how to create your own VR training videos. So as you can see in this screenshot that I took from the final report, it outlays the different programs that you can use to create your own VR training videos, how to edit, how to process all of that, and all the detailed aspects of uploading it onto the platform. So you have all of that information easily accessible there. For creating your own VR training videos, it is relatively affordable. The equipment is now coming to a point where most people are able to afford buying their own camera, and then you just go and use it in your own experience on board a real world platform, or even in a simulator. I've done a couple of VR training videos in a simulator as well. The editing is fairly basic. It's standard video editing. From my experience, it's a little bit more than a PowerPoint, but not much more. So most people have the technological ability to do that, as long as they're willing to learn the new platform. Also, all of the information for how to create that VR training video and that step-by-step process, I put in a final report on the IAMU VR database so that everybody can access that quickly and effectively as they're using the database as well. So again, please help us use this IAMU VR database by contributing. So here is the website. So if you have a smartphone or another screen, go ahead and open that up. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring up the IAMU VR database so that we can look at it very quickly. So this is the home page. Quick description of what the VR database is supposed to be at, and then the 3 videos that have been created so everybody can quickly access that content. But the majority is going to be under our forum. Again, the hope is we'll have many more materials by sharing and collaborating. Here I've set up some of the main forum threads. Everybody is able to create their own new post within these threads if you create your own account within here. So here you can see that in marine transportation, I've created several threads to help break it up into different sections. So we'll open up seamanship, which has line handling, arrival on the stern, which is the VR training experience that we created. So you click on it, it has the discussion, and then it will run right there in your browser. I'm going to go back to the original one just so you can see the about page as well. So on the about page, again, a quick summary of what the database is all about. And then here you can access that full report so that you can create your own VR training videos. And that is everything I have. I'm going to bring back up the website so everybody can write that down for the website address if they would like to access it. And I would like to say thank you again for your time. Again, as everybody noted, it's both early and late. So thank you so much. And please contribute to the VR training base. And thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Tamara, for your great presentation. And yeah, I have. We will go to ahead to take some time for the question now. So first, I would like to invite Ala Kawaja for asking the question to Tamara.
Hi, sorry for not having the video. Something wrong with my camera. Just wanted to know what are the criteria that my newly edited video that I intend to upload as a contribution to the database that he got. What are the criteria that my video should meet? What should I include? What are the things that, if collected together, will make my video available for the database to be used by anyone?
So right now it's pretty open. Again, these materials are extremely new. So by learning from each other and providing information, we can grow and make all of our experiences better. So what I recommend is the high caliber of qualifications you would want within your classroom. Then go ahead and see if you can share it through this platform. One of the big issues I did run into is making it so it is accessible on a browser because of data restrictions. I don't know if the platform you're creating is having that issue, but I did provide information on how to share through a browser by reducing that data level and amount so that it can run easily in a browser. When it comes to content, again, I think you being the professional expert will keep in line with what we have as an expectation within the IAMU community.
Yeah, thank you so much for letting that be available to be applied on a web-based simple API. The UX is easily accessible and easily readable. That will make it easier for any more add-ons to the database. We all use a web browser and it's accessible to anyone. That's a plus point. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you again for considering with sharing. Again, with us coming together, that's where this database will truly work. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for your questions. And I have another question from Adam. The question, name of the editing software. He's asking the name of the editing software, so that maybe you can ask. Yeah, so the question.
Yeah, so the editing software I used for the video itself was Adobe Premiere Pro. But most video editing programs will be able to do 360-degree video editing. I did find that Adobe Premiere Pro made things a lot easier, seamless, and made the process a lot faster. But a lot of programs are out there available, both in a free version or at a subscription version. For embedding the content, I used 3D Vista. It made the process of making it engaging extremely easy, both for myself as creator of that content, and then also for the users. That one is about $500 US, but it's a one-time paid program for that. I do have those programs that I used in the final report if you want to go back and look at those as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. So yeah, he says thanks. So I appreciate your answers. So do you have the participants, do you have any further questions about the database or the operation of the database? Or of course we are planning to have this link to the database on our website as well. So in the future, the IAMU website also have the link to this website, database. So you can either access from this database from the link or from our website as well. Okay. Yeah, actually, as I mentioned in the beginning, so this is one of the outcome of the organizational development project. So actually, the IAMU Secretariat sent out the information or call for organizational development project in the beginning of the November this year. So we're now opening the application for organizational development project. And the deadline of the submission is the end of the January 2023. So I think this the outcome of the database is quite the very beneficial for all member university. So we are very much welcome to this kind of the application and the proposal for, especially for the organizational development project, because the organizational development project is quite different from the research project. So like in the past, maybe we have, I know that, like developmental learning software or e-learning materials or questionnaire repository, or this kind of the projects were almost the funded project for the organizational development project. So so now I'd like to ask our executive director to ask in the questions.
Thank you, Tamara, for your presentation. Very interesting, the program or the platform using a VR concept. I have one question. Actually, if you use the VR training, I guess that the VR training need to manage a huge amount of data through the internet. I think that I'm slightly worried about the internet connectivity in the several countries, and then sometimes we got the very, how can I say, the stress is sometimes the view is frozen and then nothing happened and something like that. If we have a poor internet connectivity, I was a bit worried about that. So do you have any experience into this one, or do you have any idea to avoid this kind of the problem? That is my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very good question. This was actually one of the major issues that we were running into with sharing the materials over a web-based platform. I would upload it, and then Sandra Malik at CIMAC would have a difficult time accessing a lot of it because many of these files are absolutely massive. So what I did was I condensed how much information they were. So I compressed the videos and then compressed the files. And then it seemed to work pretty well between the two of us. But that's between our two internet connections, and around the world that is a consideration. It does widely vary how much information is able to be transferred over the internet. So one way that we could do that is you can have many of these VR training experiences where they can be downloaded directly. So it can take time and then play on the actual platform itself. So you can download it onto your smartphone or your computer and then play it once it's done downloading. And that might help with a lot of the freezing. So I am able to do that, and that's a quick shift. If that's something that needs to be done with these VR training videos, then I can do that. Again, trying to see what works easily with other platforms around the world. And make things easiest for everybody to access. So I'll make those changes to those 3 videos that I created, make sure everybody can download them, but still use it in a browser easily as well. I recommend that to everybody else because I believe this is actually a very important point. If we do run into issues like this, if you are experiencing lagging issues and downloading issues, feel free to contact me through the contact box on the About, and then we can try to make things a little bit more seamless and try to address those issues as well.
There's one more question, if I can continue my question. Is okay? Yusuke?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Right, yeah. Do we need to have the specific the equipment to use that one? So the VR training, we need to have something like a, how can I say, the big Google or something like that. Do I need to have this one?
No, this is a wonderful point. One of the best things about these VR training videos is they can be used on any platform. It's wonderful to use it on the goggles, but I found it's almost easier to use it on a smartphone, especially in a classroom setting. The goggles make it much more immersive and a little bit more engaging, but on a smartphone, you can engage in every single learning outcome that you would have within the goggles. And that makes it so that it's a little bit more adaptable around the world with different access to technology. So everybody can use it in their classroom tomorrow if they wanted to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have one question. Actually, there are some people who joined later. So, Tamara, can I ask you to actually I have a question at how we can receive the access for these video files. So maybe you can share, explain about how to access the database and how it looks like. So maybe the participants can see that. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, definitely. I'll bring back up the IAMU website. So again, this is the page that you can access when you first open up the website. This is your home page, and it has the 3 VR training videos that were created specifically for this project. So it's easy to access those right away. The About tab has the final report, which has the detailed aspect of the instructions on how to create your own learning platforms, how to use the database, and how to contribute to the database if you want to do all of those things. And then finally, the forum is the main part of this database where we house all of the information. It's broken up into different threads. So if you open up marine transportation, it's broken up into navigation, ship handling, seamanship, cargo operations, and life-saving. So when you open up ship handling, doesn't have anything under it right now, but seamanship has the line handling VR training video that we had created for this. When you click on it, it has just the main page just for that VR training video. This opens and runs on this page, and it will automatically start to play in your browser. I will add a download feature for all of those VR training videos that I uploaded because it does take some time for it to start to play. So here it is with that opening screen, and down at the bottom, you have several different views. So if we go to the center line on the stern, you can click and drag and look around. If you're using it on a computer or a smartphone or a tablet, if you're using the VR headset, all you would do is just look around. Everything on here has that embedded content. So the embedded content are all of these eyes that I created. If anybody else contributes their own material, we'll probably have something similar where you can click on things and things along those lines. From here, it has a pop-up that discusses what's going on here. So again, this is talking about SMS and what's proper safety equipment, your PPE, things along those lines. Some of these actually open up other videos or links to YouTube. So here's a safety video on line handling. And that's one of the wonderful things about those VR training experiences. It has the embedded content while also being able to look around and get kind of that full view of what's going on, which you would never be able to get with a regular video. If you want to contribute your own content, again, go to one of the forums and you can open up a thread, and then it has the ability to get the conversation started, and you can create your own post. To do that, you have to log in and create an account. This can use any type of email, but I recommend using your university email just so that you can keep that professional. But all you do is just like you do on Facebook or any other type of thing, you would type in a title, and then if you have a link to somewhere else where you're housing it, or if you want to submit it right in here, just like you would on Facebook or any other social media type of platform. From there, it just posts it with the rest of the categories, similar to how I have here. What I do want to note is, again, this is kind of a collaborative type of platform. So we do have form rules and guidelines, such as not attacking every other individuals or illegal content. Please keep this a professional platform where we can share ideas and content. But that also allows us to make comments on things, such as if we think, oh, this video was wonderful, or I noticed this was an issue, recommend noting this in your conversation. If you do make a recommendation or you notice something wrong with the video, please be collegial and do that in a professional way. But this will help us kind of self-regulate that academic information as well. So that'll help keep that quality high, as we have been talking about before. But again, please be professional as you do add content.
Thank you so much. I think, Dima, are you happy with that? Yep. And actually, I also made my account on this database. There, I can see myself in the members, and
Yep.
that place maybe we can even have as chatting, or if we can share the information about activities. Or that function is also very helpful for this, especially for the international association as well. So. Yeah, again, I'd like to make this webinar more interactive. So Jennifer, this is maybe. Oh yes, the question from the Jennifer. Are you planning any follow-on studies related to the learning outcome from using VR material in the database? So this is a question from Jennifer. Oh, sorry.
Yes. So I believe that research is a continual process, and right now my dissertation in the curriculum and instruction program at New Mexico State University, which I'm currently in, is focusing on VR. In fact, Serdan Pekovic at University of Dubrovnik agreed to assist me with a project. And what that project is looking into is the impact that language has within a VR space. Again, the majority of learners in MET are multilingual, so I want to make sure that all of these materials are addressing the needs of all of our students. And because of the very high cognitive load within this platform, that might create unique needs for multilingual learners. However, it also has a lot of very interactive and supportive materials within that space. So it might be a very wonderful platform for multilingual learners. So I'm trying to learn exactly what that experience is for a multilingual learner. And that's just the project I'm working on right now. But I know there are a lot of other projects that other people are working on as well. So a lot of exciting things going on with research in the VR and immersive technology field.
Thank you so much for your answer. So I have one. Ara, can I ask you to make a question to Tamara?
Hi again. Does the platform support interactive environment so that student, as opposed to looking around and clicking on the hotspot information, get a pop-up of a brief description, can they be presented with choice so that depending on their choice, they can control the turn of event? Can we upload multiple videos that translate their choices as a way of interacting, controlling the turn of events of the video? Does the platform support that?
So the platform definitely supports that. The ones that I created did not do that because of the content that I was working with and trying to create learning outcomes for. But it is very easy to, especially if you're using a simulator, to recreate different situations that you replay over and over. And then here, let me go ahead and open up the VR training experience. So what you could easily do is, since I have these little different viewpoints, here it's just looking from different angles, but you could easily have different situations where, well, in this situation you did this, in this situation you did that. And so you could kind of create a decision tree as a part of your development. So then you could create it a little bit more interactive where they choose their own adventure, kind of like the books back in a few years ago that we had a lot of. Very good point.
Oh, I have a question from I have the hands from our chair, Graham Brackett.
Yes, Tamara. I'm just wondering how many videos you would see in each one of those categories, from ship handling to all the different categories you listed. How many videos do you think it would take, or did you have input from a larger group like IAMU members to say what videos they would like to see? So is there potentially 30 or 50 videos that would round out the full training program?
I haven't done that research yet. I think that's a wonderful research project to do in the future to see what amount kind of saturates the market so that everybody has enough. But I would say several, so that you can use it throughout the curriculum. And so I think we're starting to get close, but I think we definitely need a few more. I know it's not a very concrete answer there, but I honestly don't know the exact number.
Glenn, you're muted. You talking?
No, I just said, okay, I think the potential is great, and I think everybody loves the first videos, but everybody's got ideas now for other videos they'd like to see. So how we populate the entire database is very important.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing I want to note is most of the videos that I created were all deck-based. So I highly encourage, especially marine engineering, because we don't have very much of those materials. But we definitely need to expand both areas. So highly encourage everybody to share.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think we covered most of the questions from the participants, Tamara. So is there anything else you wanted to cover before the wrap up, Tamara?
I think that was most of the information. Again, the main purpose was to share the outcomes of this project, make sure everybody's aware so that they're able to use this platform, and then ask, please contribute. Again, right now, it's just the beginning with contributing to the platform, everybody coming together collaboratively. That's where this project will be a success. So thank you for attending the webinar, and I look forward to hearing back from everybody.
Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation and your thought on to sharing the information about your outcome. We are very much appreciate it. Again, this is one of the outcome of the organizational development project, and I'm sorry to say, but we are open application for that project until the 31st of January next year. So please consider to prepare for your application and submit them to the Secretariat by the end of the deadline. So a bit earlier, but I'd like to ask our Executive Director, Dr. Nagazawa, to make a closing remarks.
Okay, thank you. I'm not sure whether I should provide the closing remarks or not, but thank you very much, first of all, Tamara, for your great presentation. Of course, the great outcome of your project. And then I also like to say thank you very much for the other participant. I confirm that around 40 to 50 participants in this virtual space and to listen there and then to exchange the view each other. I think that we have some question, but I understand that the many people that still kept some question in their mind and they hesitate to say during this kind of the occasion. Anyway, thank you very much again for everyone to have such a nice opportunity to exchange our view. Thank you. Actually, the IAMU, as you know, the IAMU has so far funded the several number of the project to develop the teaching material and then e-learning, and then also for the other tool for education and training. Everyone like to develop this kind of a training tool and the educational material. e-learning program, the platform already done many years ago. But unfortunately, many of the such outcome, unfortunately, they stay in somewhere in the lasting in the virtual state, virtual area. That means no one used. Even if the developer or the project coordinator took a lot of effort to develop such an idea and the teaching material and so on, but after that, nothing happened. As I mentioned, that the most of this kind of the program stay, that the lasting in the virtual area in somewhere, I don't know. And I was a bit worried about this. Although the IAMU funded huge amount of the money for developing this kind of material, but it never developed. And then even if the developer or the project coordinator took a lot of effort to develop this kind of idea, but nothing happened. I was very much worried about the situation like that so far. But today I found how we can solve this problem. I think what we need to do after or following action to developing this kind of teaching. And I understand that the webinar is a very good tool for us to organize users conference or the users meeting who try to use this kind of the program. Then the developer just explain everything to the user. All of the project coordinator and then developer always mention that the program or our teaching material is very easy to use. However, in fact, for the new person to just start this new material, it's not easy like the project coordinator mentioned. So if the user found some problem, then they stop using. That's it. I fully understand that this is so far happened. So, but this today and for the future, if we organize the webinar like that, just like the users conference or the users meeting frequently by using the webinar, it's free of charge. And if it's easy to communicate each other, I think that this is a new start for us to develop the teaching material and then this time the VR training database. I hope that the Tamara and of course Yusuke on behalf of the Secretariat just communicate each other to develop the additional and then the subsequent users conference for the user to exchange the idea and to develop this kind of program and the database much more, and then to find out the very useful tool for all members of IAMU, and then also for the other maritime institution in the world. This is what I really like you to do this one, and then to achieve this way, the Secretariat is prepared to support any kind of the support to develop this kind of the user conference for the future. I think that would be my closing remark, but it is actually just an opening remarks for the future activity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Nakazawa. It was really nice, good idea for the future work. Maybe I will work with Tamara about for the future conferences. So the dear participants, if you have any interest to join that conferences, or if you have any idea about future conference, please let us know. So our website is always open for you. So please email your ideas and comments for to our secretariat. And once again, thank you very much for your time and joining this webinar. So we have a quite good number of the participants this time, and my special thanks to the Tamara for your work and your information sharing. So we will work together. I look forward to working with you again. And thank you very much again, and have a great day for all of you. Thank you for joining.